Hello. Something's been playing on my mind, and I thought, actually, I think I'll make a video about this because it feels important and it feels relevant to this channel. So I went up to the next village, not our little village, but the main town. We've got two supermarkets there, and so we went up there, and there were lots of gaps in the shelves, lots of empty spaces, random things, all sorts of things really. We usually get our bottled gas from there, and we've not been able to get any gas from there for the last few weeks, so we're turning our gas canister that we no longer need. And I thought the woman looked a little bit, it's a woman, she's worked there for ages, and she didn't look herself at all. So when she was coming with me to get the gas canister out of the car, and I said to her, there's a lot of gaps. I said, what's the reason for it? And she said, it's lots of reasons, it's lots of things all coming together. And of course we're all aware of what's going on, and we know the fuel prices are rising and things are getting a bit tough, and for some more than others. And this lady was saying, she said, well, probably the supermarket's going to close. And I thought, oh, that's interesting, because we're so used to supermarkets being there, and I think the majority of people, myself included, I still get a lot from the supermarket, but I can get it from other places as well, and we grow some. But we still do use supermarkets a lot, and I know why we do it. It's out of laziness most of the time. It's easy, it's convenient, and so that's what we do. And I thought, this is interesting that we've just got a reasonable sized supermarket, and she's saying it's probably going to close, but they're just trying to keep it going for as long as they can. And she said, well, they've lost a lot of customers because a lot of people used to get their gas there, and then they probably got their shopping, and now they don't seem to have the gas supply anymore. But also they can't get a lot of things that people want to buy. So, and we were talking, she's a French woman, and she said, which I thought was really quite nice, she said, we're going to have to find another way to live. And with me doing this channel and everything, this is something very close to my heart. I think we are going to have to find another way to live. We're probably going to be forced into finding another way to live. But it's also, a lot of the things are quite sensible for when you think of the planet, and trying to actually help the planet and everything. It would be a good idea. And so, I thought, it's cool, it's what I think. And we were talking a bit more and saying that actually it doesn't have to be worse. I think at first it's very difficult for people to adjust to not having things they're used to having, go to the supermarket, buy whatever you want. But now with the prices going up and the supply chains being affected, the price of fuel is going to affect everything. I mean, lorries, it costs so much to run a big articulated lorry. I heard recently that normally it costs about £40,000 in fuel a year for an articulated lorry, and that has now gone up to £60,000 a year. And that just gives you some idea that this cannot continue in this way. We are going to have things to face and things to deal with. It's going to have an effect. So but on a better note, you can do other things, and I think that's a lot of this, me wanting to do this channel, is to say to people, you know what, it needn't be so scary. It really needn't be so scary. A simpler life can be really a really rewarding life, a really connecting life, where you can be better than maybe the life you have even. So I think some of me with this channel is trying to say, don't panic, it's all right. Things can be, there's lots of things you can do. And I think that's it. It's like taking some of the power into, back into your own hands. When things get scary, other things are happening. It's remembering the things that you can do, and there's so much support out there. There's so many people on YouTube or in the world that live in different ways. You just don't hear much about them, and when you're living your normal life, you don't think about it, because you don't need to think, actually, how do I save electricity? How do I save money on gas? What can I do? Is there a different way to do things? How do I grow things? You don't think about those things, but maybe the time's coming now when people are going to need to think about it more. But I just want to say, really, don't panic. There's lots of help out there. There's lots of people who've been doing these things for years and years. And in most parts of the world, people live very differently to how we live in the Western world. And, it needn't all be bad. So I'm hoping that through these videos that I'm doing, I'm going to do more. I'm going to do 2 a week, and there's plenty more things to share that can really be of some benefit and some help to some of you. Okay, thank you. If there's anything you want to ask in the comments, ask me in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, or to direct you somewhere else where, you know, maybe it's more helpful. Have a look at some of my other videos. I mean, they're a mixture of things like, you know, actual practical things that you can do which are, you know, help you to deal with things like, maybe it's like about growing things or using energy in a different way, or a lot about solar power, things like that. But there's also ones about enjoying life, looking after yourself, appreciating things, just simple stuff. Okay, so I hope you find it useful. Cheers, bye.